Carol Leonnig's Zero Fail: The Rise and Fall of the Secret Service is an in-depth exploration of the United States Secret Service, focusing on its history, evolution, and recent controversies. The book delves into the agency's origins as a small, underfunded unit, tasked with suppressing counterfeiting during the Civil War, to its expansion into a global law enforcement and protective powerhouse. Throughout the narrative, Leonnig highlights the dedication, bravery, and professionalism of countless Secret Service agents, while also exposing systemic failures, bureaucratic inertia, and leadership shortcomings that have jeopardized the agency's reputation and mission. The book begins by tracing the early years of the Secret Service, which was established in 1865 to combat the widespread counterfeiting of currency during the Civil War. Initially led by a former detective named Alan Pinkerton, the agency's small team of investigators worked tirelessly to identify and arrest counterfeiters, often operating undercover and employing unconventional tactics. Over time, the agency's mandate expanded to include protecting the nation's leaders, particularly the president, from assassination attempts. This new responsibility was first demonstrated in 1893, when Secret Service agents thwarted an assassination plot against President Grover Cleveland. As the United States evolved and its global influence grew, so too did the responsibilities of the Secret Service. In the early 20th century, the agency began to play a more significant role in international affairs, protecting visiting dignitaries and investigating transnational criminal organizations. During World War II, Secret Service agents were instrumental in combating espionage and sabotage on American soil, often working alongside their counterparts in the FBI and other intelligence agencies. The post-war era saw the Secret Service continue to evolve and expand its reach. In 1951, the agency was transferred from the Treasury Department to the newly created Department of Homeland Security, which allowed it to better coordinate its efforts with other law enforcement agencies. The 1960s and 1970s were marked by a series of high-profile assassinations and attempted assassinations, including those of President John F. Kennedy, Martin Luther King Jr., and Robert F. Kennedy, which further emphasized the importance of protecting the nation's leaders. In the decades that followed, the Secret Service continued to refine its protective procedures and technologies, developing a sophisticated network of intelligence gathering and analysis that enabled it to anticipate and respond to potential threats with unprecedented speed and precision. This was put to the test in 1981 when Secret Service agents successfully thwarted an assassination attempt on President Ronald Reagan, saving his life despite being seriously injured themselves. However, as the agency grew in size and complexity, it also began to experience significant challenges. Bureaucratic infighting, turf wars, and leadership conflicts hampered the agency's ability to adapt to new threats and technologies. These issues came to a head in the early 2000s, when a series of high-profile security lapses led to a congressional investigation and widespread public scrutiny. The most notorious of these incidents occurred in 2003, when President George W. Bush was briefly stranded on a Florida golf course after his motorcade became lost due to a miscommunication between Secret Service agents. The book devotes significant attention to the aftermath of these incidents, detailing the efforts made by the agency to reform itself and regain the trust of the American people. This included a renewed focus on training, technology, and communication, as well as a reorganization of the agency's leadership structure. Despite these efforts, the Secret Service continued to face challenges in the years that followed, including a string of high-profile security breaches and misconduct scandals. One of the most significant controversies explored in the book is the agency's handling of the 2012 White House intrusion by a knife-wielding man who jumped the fence and ran through the front door of the residence before being subdued by Secret Service agents. The incident raised questions about the agency's security protocols and the adequacy of its staffing levels. Further scrutiny was brought to bear on the Secret Service when it was revealed that several agents had engaged in misconduct while on assignment in Colombia, including visiting strip clubs and bringing prostitutes back to their hotel rooms. Throughout the book, Leonnig paints a nuanced portrait of the Secret Service, highlighting both its many accomplishments and its shortcomings. She draws on extensive interviews with current and former agents, as well as archival research and her own experience as a reporter for The Washington Post. The result is a comprehensive and insightful examination of one of America's most iconic law enforcement agencies, offering valuable lessons about the importance of accountability, adaptability, and professionalism in the face of evolving threats and challenges.